podcast that connects the dots for business leaders to drive revenue through effective marketing strategy. We chat with marketing experts on different topics that will help you ramp up your revenue. We stream live on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platforms. Marketing Demystified, the podcast, is presented to you by GrowGetter, your partner in growth marketing. And here's today's episode.
Hello, everyone. Are you ready to be inspired, informed, and empowered with actionable tips to transform your marketing game? You're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing Demystified. I'm your host, Jenn Mancusi, CEO and co-founder of GrowGetter, your growth marketing partner. A customer journey can end up anywhere in the end, including with a competitor, when you didn't map the customer journey as well as it could have been done. So, how to do customer journey mapping is what we're going to talk about on today's episode. I'm very excited. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about, and pretty much everything I share with you today is not anything I came up with on my own. It's learning along the way, and there's a lot of great experts out there talking about this topic, but I think it's a step that often gets skipped because there's an assumption that we know our customers and we know their journey, but sometimes if it's not mapped well internally, it can impact alignment and the ability to implement successful marketing strategies. So we'll start with the basics. What is customer journey mapping? And that really is the process of mapping out how customers and prospects interact with your brand, your product, your marketing, your messaging, your website, and kind of getting that into a format that can be used across the business with different teams and sort of create alignment around what the people that you care about are actually doing and where they're getting hung up. One thing to think about when considering what a customer journey map is for your business is that there's never only one. There's never just one journey that everyone is going to take that will be the same across the board. So you might have multiple maps that are based on persona, for example. You could have buyers versus users. You could have points in a customer journey where new people, new personas come in and then leave again. The prospect journey, the journey that someone takes in discovering your company and the work that you do and how you might be able to help them, is going to be a very different journey than the user journey for somebody that is using a platform or your technology. So you can create a journey map for almost any experience, and it's not a small task, so you probably won't create a journey map for every experience. But when there's something that's really key to your business and really key to understanding either something that's not working or something that you want to improve on, a journey map can be a really great form for doing that. You can also think about mapping a friction point. If you see that people get hung up at a certain point in your platform as a user, or people drop off your website after navigating to a certain section or page, or they don't quite get to that conversion in an ad campaign, you can actually create a journey map that drives people to that fall off point. And that will help you identify some of the friction as well. So a lot of different ways that you can think about it, a lot of different ways to define it, but really it's that process of sort of visually mapping out what people are doing and how they're interacting with you. So as we kind of kicked off, there's a lot of reasons why you need to have this. And I don't know why it often gets skipped, maybe because of the work that can be involved in creating it. But I will say that having something is better than nothing. So we'll get back into that in a second, but why do you need it? Why is it important to have your customer's journey mapped out? And maybe we'll stick with the example of a sort of buyer's journey, which is really relevant for marketers, salespeople, product teams, especially if you have a product-led motion. But thinking about that buyer's journey, there's a lot of different reasons to create that single journey map depending on your role. Having it is a great way to align cross-functional teams around the customer. So as I mentioned, you've got this buyer journey. It's relevant for sales. It's relevant for marketing. It's relevant for product. It's a great alignment tool for everyone to have a source of truth of what the customer is trying to achieve at each different stage, how you're measuring the success of them achieving those goals at those stages, and working together to smooth out that journey and make sure people are moving from stage to stage. As a marketer specifically, it's a great guide to think about what type of content you're going to create, what actions you want people to take when they engage with that content, and really guide people through the discovery process of learning about you and considering you and ultimately buying from you. It's also a great way to choose what channels you put different messages out on. If you understand what your potential buyers are doing at each of these different stages, then you'll be able to know, hey, this is where, this persona is going to this event or listening to this podcast. And so I need to show up there in this way so that they can learn who we are, or I can bring them back to the website a second time and things like that. So in terms of the process for actually creating the customer journey map, I'm going to really simplify it for you. And this is where I think it's really important to think about getting started and not worrying about making it perfect, because having something is better than nothing when it comes to customer journey mapping. So the way that you want to start, again, we'll stick with the buyer's journey as an example. You want to start by choosing a persona. A lot of businesses, especially on the B2B side, you might have several different personas that are buying from you. You might have a couple categories or segments of ideal customer profile. And so you want to start with just one. Don't overcomplicate your process by trying to map a lot of different journeys at once. Just do them one at a time. And if you need help with defining those personas and that ideal customer profile, you can go back a couple episodes on Marketing Demystified where we talk all about developing those personas. You definitely want to start there. Make sure it's well defined who your ideal customer is, and then choose one to map out that journey. The first thing I always do when mapping a customer journey is starting with what I already know. That could be based on primary research that's been done internally or customer interviews that have been conducted. It could be based on experience or just an observation of what people are doing within the journey. You could conduct internal interviews to get those learnings from other teams. But really, you just want to fill in the gaps with the things that you know already, so that you could identify the things that you don't know and need to add in. At this stage, your journey map does not have to be pretty. It doesn't have to look good. Excel is going to do the trick for you. You just want to brainstorm and put in as much information as you can about that persona in order to kind of start to map things out. Once you've filled in everything you know, you want to fill the gaps with research. So you might see that there's not a lot to learn, and you can run a quick survey, or you can do a few customer interviews or something like that to get to a sort of complete picture. If there's a lot more that you need to learn, there might be other methods that you would take in order to get the information you need to fill in the entire map. From there, once you've kind of filled in all your gaps, you're going to turn it into something that is a little bit prettier, because you want it to be shared and adopted company-wide. Again, this is a tool that can help to align teams, cross-functional teams, and get everybody kind of focused on the customer. And so it's important that it's not just a sort of scratch brain dump, which is what you'll start with, and you actually turn it into something useful. So the process is actually pretty simple. Pick that persona, start with what you know, fill in the gaps, and then share it company wide. Now, what actually are you filling in those spaces? This is the most important piece, is sort of understanding the components of that journey map. And what I can do also for anybody who's interested, either jump in the chat or ping me later if you want a template that we use here at GrowGetter. I can share that with you. But what you want to structure is the major stages within the journey. There might be, again, let's use buyer journey as an example. There's going to be an awareness stage, there's going to be an evaluation stage or a consideration stage, and an engagement, or the naming of it is less important than sort of understanding what it is. I guess I shouldn't say it's not important. The naming is important, but it is unique to your business and the journey that you're putting together, right? So we'll use awareness, consideration, and engagement for these purposes. Those are sort of your big stages that your customer or prospective buyer will be in at any given point. From there, there will be milestones that exist within each of those stages. So someone has identified that they have a problem they need to solve. They start to do some discovery to figure out what solutions might be out there. They move into a consideration set and start evaluating solutions or tools. All those things, again, unique to your business, but there will be 2 to 3 for each stage that customers will go through for within the journey. Don't be too rigid about 3 stages and 3 milestones per stage. Make sure that it is accurate to the journey that you've identified within your business that you're trying to map out. Some considerations when defining those milestones. This is a customer milestone, not a company milestone. So each one of these milestones, what you want to do is align a KPI to it so that you can measure the success and measure people moving from stage to stage. Those KPIs are the success of the customer hitting those milestones. Again, this is a customer-centric engagement and activity. It's not about your company KPIs. You probably have tons of company KPIs, business KPIs. Everybody does. OKRs, whatever you want to call them. You've got success metrics that measure the business hitting their goals. This is not that. This is, how do we measure that the customer is hitting their goals in their experience with us? So some examples of that. As you're defining KPIs for different milestones, I would never have a KPI be a purchase, or, they've bought from us, or they've put in their credit card, they've signed up for something. Those are our success metrics. That's what we want people to do. So you want to align your KPIs around them reaching that aha moment that gets them to click, or gets them to move, or gets them excited about something, gets them to engage in a piece of content. If I'm a big believer that if we work towards helping our customers meet their goals, then our business goals will be met as a result of that. But forcing people through our business goals is not necessarily the most effective way to be customer centric and come market to and sell to from a place of helpfulness and empathy and trying to solve problems versus trying to earn revenue. We all know that's what we're trying to do in business. We are trying to grow our business. We're trying to increase revenue. We're trying to retain our customers. But if we make sure our customers are having a positive experience and that we're solving their problems in an effective way, then that other stuff will come. So now you've got your stages your key milestones within each of those stages. You've got a KPI aligned to each milestone so that you can track how people move through the journey. The next thing that you want to add in to those columns is what are your target audience doing, thinking, and feeling at each of those milestones, at each of those stages. So this is where you're filling in. Start with what you know, or educated guess, right? A lot of us have been doing this a long time. You understand your ideal customer. You don't know nothing, so you don't have to start from scratch. But be open to the things that you don't know that you might need to fill in with research later. So the doing, thinking, feeling is really important. Doing is, what are they doing? Where are they showing up? How are they going through the process of evaluating a new partner or a new tool? What are they thinking about? What problem are they trying to solve? What frustrations might they have? What sort of internal problems are they facing? And that comes into the feeling piece as well. So if the better you understand those things, what are people doing, thinking, and feeling at every stage, the better you can meet their needs. So once you kind of have all of those components put together, you can start to layer in your business activities, your touch points, your messaging, your conversion moments into all of those stages and milestones in a really meaningful way. So you've got the process for creating it. You've got the components for that map. Now we've created it. How do we use it? So if you're layering in messaging and conversion points and touch points for each of those stages, you'll be able to have a better sense for what to say and when and where in order to actually influence people to move further down the funnel. So one of the biggest marketing mistakes I see people make is putting bottom of funnel conversion points and calls to action in top of funnel channels and strategies. So we see this a lot with digital advertising. We spend a lot of money on ads and we're looking for people to book demos, but oftentimes we're reaching people for the first time. So we're running awareness ads with bottom of funnel messaging that people just aren't ready for yet. So having that journey map is a great way to understand this is the level of information people need at each of these stages, and the conversion points and the engagement metrics will be different based on what people are ready for. So you don't have to tell everyone about all the features and functionality of your technology the first time they come across your brand. You want to show them that you can solve their problem or identify that you understand that they have a problem and you're going to be a solution for them. So that's going to be more of a top of funnel message when they start to evaluate tools and decide if they're going to make a change or if they're going to adopt something new. You might want to layer in some social proof and give people an opportunity to see that they're not the first to try out this technology or your service. So that's a great spot for case studies and testimonials and things like that. And further down funnel, you might get into booking a demo. You might show them a little behind the scenes of your platform if it's a technology-based solution. If you're product-led, you might get people into a free trial or a free version of your technology. And that will just help you meet them where they are. Give them what they are ready for in a really bite-sized way without trying to give too much information that confuses people and prevents them from acting at all. This is also a really great way, as I mentioned, having that customer journey map as a tool for aligning teams, it really helps to align success metrics as well, especially if you're a marketer. Because as I mentioned, if you've got an ad running and you're looking for people to book demos off of that ad and they're not doing it, well, we've got a misalignment in the KPI setting and the success metric for that ad. If we can make it really clear that these ads are for awareness and we're going to run a retargeting campaign further down funnel for conversion, then you won't be measuring those that singular channel with two different campaigns and the same metric, if that makes sense. So not all digital ads are created equal. Not all webinars are created equal. Not all events, not all email campaigns. So being able to say, this is what we're going to focus on for this specific action or strategy or tactic, and how we define success. And here down funnel is something different, a different approach designed to move people from one stage to another. Then you'll be able to kind of ensure alignment across those different teams, and make sure everyone is sort of moving towards a shared goal. So those are some of the things that we want to think about when creating that journey map, and sort of ultimately how to use it. Any company out there that is looking to be more customer centric and improve their own KPIs, their business KPIs, to focus on what we understand about our key personas and our ideal customers, what we know about how they move and what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, then we can really meet them where they are. And it's going to increase the success of everything that we do, whether that's on the product side, the sales side, the marketing side. So as always, I'm always here as a resource for you if you want to talk through customer journey mapping or brainstorm how you might put this into practice for your business. And I've got templates I'll share out with everybody in show notes. But thank you all for tuning in today. I'll be back with another episode later this week, actually. I'll be chatting with Jessica Rose